The riffs are too sexy and the lyrics are intense. The cover art's revealing and the songs make me tense. There's so much to turn me on. Why I hate this album. After Dark with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Frasier to my cheers, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Angry and scared, Garrett.
I mean, typically that's how I like you, but it's a little surprising this week. What's got you scared and angry?
Tom Brady.
Dude, we don't do a lot of planning on this show, but we do talk about like, hey, I'm going to introduce myself, I'm going to give you a nice segue, and then you're going to tell us what song or album we've been listening to. It's in the outline in the
I understand.
In the notes.
You asked me how I was doing. Tom Brady has been trolling me all week. That guy's a goddamn menace. He's just baiting me.
It's obvious that we're not going to get to business at hand until we discuss your Tom Brady problem. How has Tom Brady been trolling you?
He's sending me insulting and threatening DMs.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. And he said that now that he is retired, he's going to be the GOAT of making my life shitty, and I don't know what that means.
I know what it means. Oh. You're about to get TB12'd into next Tuesday, buddy. It's going to be all avocados, water, and Tom Brady fucking your shit up.
I think you should find that threatening. That is the role that you have in my life.
Oh, Tim, I'm far too mature to have to label anything in order to feel as though I'm dominant in a situation. And honestly, Tim, if there are a handful of people that currently today, in the now time, that perhaps I might have to take a knee and salute. And Tom Brady, unfortunately, I don't like to say it, he might be on that list. He's an intimidating, terrifying man.
Even retired?
Not as much. What you forget is, despite him not looking, like a big tough guy, in real life, he's still a giant professional footballer.
Yes, but now Rob Gronkowski is not required to be like right there to side.
Yeah, and that does make me feel a lot more confident. But I'd feel a heck of a lot more confident in about 10 years when our age difference really starts to make a difference.
So you're saying you're going to wait. Okay. Not going to finish that. Tom Brady, you got 10 years, buddy.
Now, at the risk of further deviating us from the whole reason we're here and the whole reason we've got these interns in the studio and all this business, we're gonna deviate from that even further. Can you explain to me, why is Tom Brady so mad at you?
He's not mad at me. He's just an asshole.
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly. That I can say for sure. Tom Brady is an asshole.
He's just singled you out, 350 million Americans, and he's like, you know what? This guy on this podcast that I know, I'm going to make his life a living hell.
Oh, he doesn't know about the podcast.
So this is personal.
I head with a
Oh my God.
Garrett.
I'm ashamed of you.
No. Listen, I was drunk.
Oh, so you didn't really do it.
No, the alcohol did.
Terry Johnson did it.
That's true.
The infamous Jekyll to your Hyde. Wait, Hyde to your Jekyll?
I blame Terry, but he is technically the better behaved of the two of us.
Oh my God, you're the evil twin. Interesting. Fantastic, Tim. Everybody does have an evil twin unless you don't, in which case it's you. Anyway, I don't feel as though I'm any closer to fully understanding what's going on. When did you hit?
Listen, I don't think we should put a date on it legally.
But he knows you did it.
He looked in the crowd and he saw me and we made eye contact and he did that thing from Meet the Parents, where you point at your eyes and then point at the guy. He did that and I thought, there's no way he'll figure out who I am. But I was holding up a gigantic sign that said, Tom Brady, I love you, Tim Richardson. And then I had my phone number and email address on it. The point is he found me.
I've seen the sign.
Yeah. The point is I no longer love him and he never loved it. We're going to be seeing more of him.
I invite it. Honestly, I've got a lot of questions for that freak show. And honestly, if I could tag team with Tom Brady, making your life difficult.
Oh, God, no.
Imagine the games of keep away we could have. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm going to crush someone's pelvis.
That's a specific and vague threat. Someone is getting a crushed pelvis. Starts vague, ends very specific and threatening. Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the contractually agreed, not arousing Cherry Pie, released September 11th, 1990 by the band Warrant. And we should thank, I think, probably Derek Caravu, stand-up comedian, voice actor, host of the I Fucking Love This Record podcast, for his truly uncomfortable After Dark version of our theme song this week, because we almost certainly used it up top, because we are going to get, well, most likely, we are going to get After Dark this week.
Oh, then I need to open a completely different set of notes.
Oh no.
That's okay. No, I've got those notes, but I don't know if you noticed, Tim, but we've been keeping it pretty squeaky clean these last few months.
Oh yeah, I think we actually got rid of that explicit tag for a few weeks there.
Yeah, that was a clerical mistake. And again, I want to apologize to
parents
the
everywhere.
Hundreds of parents who took the time to write in and let us know how incredibly disappointed they were to find their child listening to this. Thank you for downloading, and less so for rating the show.
Yes.
Yeah, those people seem to have the time. The 1 stars, they make the time. 5 stars, you'd like to, but I get it.
It's fair.
But if you could, it'd be nice. Anyway, Tim, I'm just going to ask it right now. After an entire week with it, do you hate this song?
I don't. This is terrible, but it's also kind of glorious. But it's...
Oh, glorious is a fun word.
It's so very terrible, though. But I don't hate it. What about you, friend? Do you hate this song?
No, sir, I do not.
Do you love this song? It's okay to. It's okay. If there was a week to love a song, I feel like this might be it.
Yeah, no, I don't love it. It doesn't reach the heights of loving, and part of that is the conceit of the show. Even something like Warrant Cherry Pie, which at the beginning of the week I kind of loved, now has been degraded to it's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
You used the word glorious. I was going to choose the word adorable.
It's quaint in retrospect.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like that damnable apple, once you see the music video, you are corrupted entirely, and it can no longer use the word adorable to describe it.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, there are
parts of it that are adorable.
There is also nightmarish Stephen King imagery in there, so yes.
We'll get there, gang. Don't worry. But before we do, I'm curious, Tim, prior to this week, I think I know the answer, but let's confirm it. You had a weird childhood. What's your experience with Warrant's Cherry Pie? Had you heard them or this band, this song, even of this song?
I could never tell you a single instance that I've ever heard this song. I can't remember ever listening to it. I have no memory whatsoever of this song, yet I knew it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've definitely heard this song before a lot of times, but I can't say when or where.
Have you considered the very slim possibility that you were incepted?
God damn it. Yes, I have.
Also, what were they doing in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind movie? Were they just erasing memories, or were they also putting some in?
I think just erasing.
Baby boy. Okay.
I assume your history is much different than mine.
Not terrifically, no. I have put it on purpose. It has been part of several 80s rock out mixtapes.
I mean, I think that's the perfect use for this. Like, if you're throwing an 80s party, or let's say you've got a good friend in the car, and you've turned the volume up so goddamn loud on, maybe you've got a track of silence, so you've just been slowly leaning over and turning that up until it's at full blast, and then just wait for this to come on next. Yeah, there are uses for this song.
God, we used to do such stupid shit. I guess we still do. Tim, were you ever in the car for one of I used to put Simpsons clips in the middle of my mixed CDs. I used to have a bunch of, the one that came up the most was the Jay Moore doing Chris Walken, doing Goodnight Moon. Yeah,
I do remember that. I remember putting in bits of classical music from the movie Funny Games, followed by that terrifying and shocking song that broke up the classical music. I remember putting that in a bunch of mixed CDs randomly.
Yeah, I want to say one of those mixed CDs made it to my house in Dallas. It was a bad time. Anyway, that's not why we're here. My history is a little deeper, for sure. I can't say I remember it coming out, but, I certainly remember the era when this was popular music, and it's, in hindsight, very confusing exactly why. However, I remember it being on the radio as a kid, and then I remember it coming back in commercials in, 1999.
Commercials for vaginas?
No, more like Geico or something terrible, something soulless.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, and Tim, once every 5 5 years from the age of like 18 to 32, I find myself in a strip club for various bachelor party, etc. And invariably this song is on.
Oh, absolutely. The problem is they have to split it up too far from Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me so as not to reveal that they are the same song.
Yeah, they are the exact same song.
But
this is a lesser.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no Crazy Bitch, though.
You look so good on top of me.
Yeah.
Fucking you all night. All I can think of is that goddamn wedding procession.
Uploaded by the daughter.
Oh, man. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, folks, reach out. We will help you.
Go listen to that episode.
Oh, good point, Tim. So I've heard this 3,000 times in my life. You've heard it so many goddamn times. There's a chance that you think it was a memory placed in your mind by either Joey Gordon-Levitt or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hell, could have been Tom Brady.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what technology he has access to.
We also don't know why he retired.
No, we do. It's to be the goat of making my life shitty. He was very clear about it.
To you, but maybe he also wants to be a
say that
professional.
On Sports Center.
No, but maybe he's also going to be a professional inceptologist.
Maybe.
Inceptionist.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nice. Okay, that's your history. That's my history. Before we can get into the song itself, we need to understand a little bit about these boys and this band. So Tim, take us on a journey. Help us understand who is Warrant and how did Cherry Pie come to be?
This band was formed in 1984 by a high school drummist named Max Asher, who brought on vocalist Adam Shore, guitarist Josh Lewis, and bassist Chris Vincent. And they played around California. They opened for people like Ted Nugent and other 80s rock acts. And then the founder of the band, the person that named the band, drummer Max, took the vocalist and left to form the band Hot Wheels. And the rest of the band kept the name Warrant, and they saw singer Jenny Lane and drummer Steven Sweet play with another band and recruited them to be in Warrant, and Jenny quickly became the frontman and main songwriter for the band. Now, Garrett, we need to talk about ridiculous names.
Jenny Lane is a ridiculous name.
No. Garrett,
what?
On November 22nd, 1963, John F. Kennedy was shot in the face, allegedly, by Lee Harvey Oswald. You're familiar with this?
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay. Jenny Lane was born to Robert and Eileen Oswald of Akron, Ohio on February 1st, 1964. That is 71 days after the Kennedy assassination. Now, I know I say some things that are, in the most technical sense, completely false on this show. Things that have gotten CBS, our parent company, sued. Things that have gotten Garrett thrashed in an alleyway. But Garrett,
yeah, that happened.
This is true. His parents had 2 months and 10 days of thinking about whether or not this would be in good taste, and then decided, fuck it, this'll be hilarious. Garrett, his parents named him John Kennedy Oswald.
You know, I thought it was going to go a different way. Lee Harvey.
Oh, no. No.
Yours is worse.
Yes. I thought you were going to say like Hole in the Face Oswald or Book Depository Oswald.
The Assassin Oswald.
Yes. The point being, his parents are hilarious.
John Kennedy
such
Oswald.
A strong move.
It's George Costanza's father. We're taking it back!
I don't think they were, though, Garrett. This was a nation 71 days after JFK was killed. This was a nation that had just literally lost its innocence for the first time in a generation.
I think they thought they were healing a nation.
It's very possible. He did later change his name to, or somebody changed his name to, I believe, John Patrick Oswald, and then finally, Jenny Lane.
That's the one maybe that I find weirdest.
Yeah.
Because that's when he picked himself.
Presumably. I didn't do much looking into his early life. I assume it was full of bullies. Possibly people shouting, you killed Camelot or something. I don't know. I'm not great at coming up with terrifying, bullyish things to say. I'll leave that to Tom Brady. Anywho, the new Warrant did well in the LA club scene. They had a song called Game of War, which was featured in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, although it didn't make it into the official soundtrack. But they were signed to Columbia in 1988. Jenny Lane immediately crashed the Corvette he bought with all of that Columbia advance money, leaving him essentially with nothing again. And then in 1989, they released the album Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich, which hit number 10 on the Billboard 200, had several very well-received singles, and they toured with people like Poison, Motley Crue, and Cinderella. Their follow-up album, much like John Kennedy Oswald, their follow-up album was going to be titled Uncle Tom's Cabin. Thankfully, some suits prevailed because they wanted the entire thing to be a big hit and be successful, and not, again, inexplicably called Uncle Tom's Cabin. So, and I'll get into this a little bit more in the song itself, but they essentially wrote in about 15 minutes on the back of a pizza box a song called Cherry Pie, named the album after that. That album, with the song of the week, was released September 11th, 1990, and hit number 7 7 on the Billboard 200. Then they toured with Poison until they got in a fight over, I think, backstage space or some such shit. They
Makeup.
Yeah, probably. Makeup and blow dryers. They toured with David Lee Roth, and then Janny stage dove and broke a bunch of ribs, so that tour ended. Janny went on to, is it Johnny? Johnny? I don't know. Johnny married model Bobby Brown, the model from the Cherry Pie music video in 1991, although they would divorce 2 years later. Warrant went on to release Dog Eat Dog in 92, which critics liked but didn't sell very well. Then they recorded 2 songs for the movie Gladiator, but not the one you're thinking of. This Gladiator movie is about underground boxing and stars Cuba Gooding Jr. and is not great. One of those songs is a cover of Queen's We Will Rock You.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Then Johnny left to pursue a solo career. The band got dropped by Columbia. Johnny came back. I guess he was tired of success.
It's so hard. I understand why you're saying Johnny, but it is like Jani, right?
Janny? Yeah, I don't know. I assume because his name, though, is John, and this is Johnny, and he's just spelling it like an asshole.
I mean, you're probably right.
Who cares?
Anyway,
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
Please.
They replaced a bunch of other members of the band, and then they released Ultraphobic in 95, which was a grunge-inspired album, which sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Then they released Belly to Belly in 96, which was an actual grunge album and was definitely terrible.
Oh, no.
They released a bunch of best of and live albums kind of along the way. They released a live album for every album they did, whatever, doesn't matter. Then they released Under the Influence, a covers album in 2001. And this is so disappointing. They're all such obvious choices and so uninteresting. It's this whole like, oh, they picked an Aerosmith song. Bet they changed that quite substantially. Go fuck yourself, Warrant.
Yeah, this
Be interesting.
is just a worse Aerosmith.
Right.
Great.
Johnny released a solo album, Back Down to One in 2000. Then he went to rehab, then quit Warrant in 2004. Warrant released Born Again with Jamie St. James of Black and Blue, not fame, taking over vocal duties in 2006. Johnny was supposed to rejoin in 2008 for a reunion tour. He maybe briefly did, but he re-quit that same year. In 2011, they released Rockaholic and toured with Whitesnake, Poison, and Cinderella. And then also that year, Johnny Lane was found dead of acute alcohol poisoning in a hotel room in Los Angeles. He was 47.
Yeah.
In 2017, the band released Louder, Harder, Faster, their 9th studio album, and according to the interweb, that album featured a cover of Merle Haggard's I Think I'll Just Stay Here and Drink that became, according to the internet, the Professional Bull Riders official party anthem, whatever the fuck that means.
It means somebody's agent's doing their goddamn job. That's
Fair.
what that means.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Eric Turner, the rhythm guitarist, is the only person that's been in the band for most of its run. Oh, Jerry Dixon, the bassist, has been there, and he's played on all the albums at least. They have had 18 lineup changes since they started. This seems to be a mostly classic rock band in the sense that it's a bunch of guys that were in the band at some point in the 80s or early 90s, and they've all rejoined after not being in this band, so they can kind of claim it's an original lineup and sell tickets to people who had the bad luck to be young and cool, I guess.
It's the starship of hair metal.
Yes. These are people that had the bad luck to be young and cool when hair metal was cool, and so they have this nonsense burned into their brains as what music should be. Like me with nu metal.
No, grunge. You super into grunge.
Oh, and nu metal.
Nope, you hate nu metal.
Doesn't sound like me. Anyway, that's the history.
Great. Weird way to end it. Now, Tim, you mentioned earlier that the lyrics to this song were written down on a pizza box in about 15 minutes or so, right?
Yes.
That pizza box, if you look on the internet, is listed as being on display in the Hard Rock Cafe in Destin, Florida, as part of the Destin Commons.
Yep.
That is not true.
Oh, really?
That location was shuttered in 2014, and the pizza box was sold to an anonymous bidder. And today, I would like to give this box to you.
Oh, Garrett.
Bring in the box.
Whoa.
Yep.
You really? How much?
I got the box.
I know this is a little gauche to ask. May I ask how much you spent?
Well,
Let me say this. More or less than $1,000.
no more.
Oh.
Way more. Way more.
Wow.
Way more.
There's still some cheese stuck to this.
There shouldn't be.
Well,
Wait a minute.
I mean, anyway. I mean, this design of this Pizza Hut box doesn't seem like it was... It doesn't matter.
I feel like if I got ripped off, Tim.
I mean, the lyrics are in fact written on the box, so I think that's
but
good
you're
enough.
pointing out a lot of inconsistencies that should have been red flags. Fuck.
I think it's
gonna be hard for me to do this.
You know what? I would like the box, Garrett. This is a grand gesture. You've spent some money on it, and I
spent so much money on
Garrett, I want the box. Thank you for the box. This is a great gesture. It's sweet. Thank you. I really mean that.
I really want to rip up the box.
Don't you dare rip up the box. That is my box.
It's a visual representation of my failure.
Garrett, we need something for the trophy case in the middle of the studio.
Yeah, that baby has remained empty. We entered all those intramural leagues and lost every one.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was written in 15 minutes to appease specifically Don Iiner, a Columbia Records suit. Now, fun side note on Don Iiner, and I apologize, trigger warning for homophobic slurs coming. George Michael tried to get out of a record contract because, and this is a huge allegedly, he said that Iiner called him a faggot. Now, Iiner did deny that, and George Michael lost the case. He was not allowed out of the contract. So, allegedly, but also probably. Allegedly, probably. And John the Cougar Mellencamp kind of implied that he left Columbia Records after Iiner made some unspecified racist comments about one of his background singers. Might not be a great guy.
And, I mean, the Coug has no reason to make these things up.
I've never known the Coug to lie.
Something. Yeah, not a liar. Cougar.
Yes, he's not a liar. He is a cougar, but he is not a liar.
Yeah, he'll attack you. He will find your jugular using a nerve in his teeth, and he'll put you down.
Is he sensing heat or the rushing of blood? What is it?
I think it's the rushing of blood.
Interesting. I can get behind that.
Either way, he'll clamp down, you'll go to sleep, and he'll feed you to his young. Pull you up into a tree for later.
No, that is majestic to watch. Anyway,
absolutely is. Yeah.
Let's listen to a little bit of this song.
You know my favorite part, Tim?
No.
Oh, yeah! It's a very weird, oh yeah. I don't understand it fully, but we'll get there. I mean, initial thoughts, Tim. What do you spent a week with it.
Musically, it's very standard hair metal, glam rock kind of thing.
Yep.
It came out in 1990, but it was clearly written to sound like it came out in 86 or so.
They're late to the party for sure.
It definitely sounds like an attempt to make a Pour Some Sugar on Me type song.
I would go so far as to say it sounds like they took Pour Some Sugar on Me and lightly changed it to make this song.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm not saying they did that. I'm saying that's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
I don't have to allegedly say that's what it sounds like to me.
It definitely sounds like that to you, and allegedly that's what they did.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that wording.
Yeah, this was definitely an attempt to cash in, again, brought on by their record company because they wanted their single to be Uncle Tom's Cabin. They wanted to call their album Uncle Tom's Cabin, despite that not being a great idea. And I did listen to that song. It seems like it would be better as a country song. It seems to be about observing a murder.
Yeah, I think it's technically better than this song.
Oh, it absolutely is. But don't name it Uncle Tom's Cabin. That's a different thing.
Didn't it open with like a bunch of acoustic guitar?
It does. It opens really well. If they had stuck with the opening sound of it and taken it through the entire song, it would be, I mean, you know, it's not a great song, but I mean...
Might not have died vomit apartment in Los Angeles.
Garrett,
too much? After dark.
Just too much.
Too soon.
Yeah.
After dark.
John Kennedy Oswald did make he had some mixed comments about the song. He often said he regretted writing it because it overshadowed the rest of their work, but he probably enjoys the money. But yeah, so he's kind of waffled back and forth. He said that sometimes he fucking hates the song, he regrets writing it, and then sometimes he says, the times that I said that, I was probably in a bad mood. I was going through a divorce with Bobby Brown and my mom just died. So, you know, could be either one.
All of that actually sounds incredibly relatable and understandable.
Yeah, but we should keep in mind when we evaluate this song, this is a joke song that they wrote to appease an alleged racist, even more allegedly homophobic idiot, but they're just fucking around here. This is not what they saw themselves as a band doing. This is just something they threw off and were just like, yeah, you want a fucking anthem? Here you go.
And he was like, perfect. This will sell great. Thank you. Are you being like really sarcastic right now, Einer? No.
You can honestly never tell with him. That honestly might be the problem with that whole George Michael thing. He might have been doing it really ironically.
Still probably not okay.
Oh. Okay.
Probably. So yeah, musically, it's nothing to get too terribly excited about. As Tim said, pretty typical 80s hair metal glam rock.
But notably made in the 90s.
That's important. It's very late to the party and a lesser of its peers at that.
Yes.
And again, perhaps it's unfair to judge them solely on this because of the fact that it was perhaps a song written in spite.
Yes.
Or to spite?
Unclear.
In any event, the lyrics too.
Oh dear, so this is a mistake. It's gross. This is a gross song. We start off with them chanting dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking. For some reason, they're chanting the name of an album that this song is not on.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I mean, do we want to give anybody a heads up about just general themes of this cherry pie, or do we want to let the story unfold? I'm fine with either. I'm curious if you have an opinion.
I mean, it's about banging. It's one of those like cheeky things. It's like the songs that they're like camp songs where the last word, let me think of.
Oh, right. The last word would be a swear word, except for it's the first word in the next sentence.
Exactly. This is like a Let's Go Brandon kind of song where they're just like, we're not saying
Wait, what?
Everyone knows what they mean, but technically they're not saying it, so they're getting away with it.
Yes, it's chock full of entendre that just barely hits the minimum threshold for double. They're very, very not so subtly talking about fucking.
Anyway, we start off with the chorus. She's my cherry pie. Cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make a grown man cry. Sweet cherry pie. Now, Garrett, this woman, who is definitely of an adult and legal age, unless we get evidence later in the song that she is not, which I'm sure is not coming, has a delicious vagina, right? It's refreshing like an oasis, and he is surprised that it is more like the oasis than a desert, hence the grown man crying, the sweet surprise, the cool drink of water. But it's also unclear because he refers to both her cherry pie and her as a cherry pie. So is she the cherry pie, or is the cherry pie her vagina? Is it both? Is she really just existing to provide a vagina so the two can be used interchangeably? I
see. All he sees is the vagina.
Yes. Well, I mean, he also sees the breasts.
I think he sees her tits, too. Goodness. It's after dark, Tim.
Yeah.
So, she's my cherry pie, cool drink of water, sweet surprise, tastes so good, make a girl. At this point, I would argue that he is simply saying she is the cherry pie. The vagina is like this is going to sound way grosser than I mean it, too. The cherry filling.
Right. Yes.
I just mean that to say the best part.
Okay. Yes. Fair. At this point, sure.
It's his words, not mine. I want to be really clear. This feels
no. Garrett
pretty wrong.
Always says poon. I don't know why. But it's not going to get less gross from here. It is a little bit troubling, though, and maybe a sign of trouble to come, that he refers to himself repeatedly as a grown man. Because of course he is. We are all of legal sex age. Why would you need to specify that?
Yeah, okay. So, at least to this point, and I don't think it's going to change, but at least to this point, there's no reason from the song itself to believe that there is a Lolita situation occurring here, if you will. But there is a general discomfort, like starting a Todd Solondz film. Like, you don't know exactly what's about to be upsetting, but it's coming.
Yeah, the opening credits hit and you're like, oh, should not have brought a date to this.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Okay, well, the song continues. Well, swinging on the front porch, swinging on the lawn, swinging where we want because there ain't nobody home. Swinging to the left and swinging to the right. If I think about baseball, I'll swing all night. Yeah. So they're banging all over the house. And the reason they are able to bang all around the house is because they're alone in the house, which is not normally the situation. Now, this could be, of course, roommates. It could be a husband. It could be parents. It could be, I don't know, a golden retriever. He's being boarded for the night, so he will not interrupt their lovemaking. Could be any of these things. And he also kind of implies or admits or whatever that he does, in fact, have a premature ejaculation issue that he compensates for by pretending he is not having sex whilst having sex. Now, Garrett, this is classic, of course. It does pose a really big potential problem, though, that not many people think about, right? He's thinking about baseball to not ejaculate. And again, after dark.
You've said that twice now for some reason.
If you think about anything not sexy while having sex to prolong sex, you run the risk of the exact opposite happening. Instead of lasting longer because you're thinking about baseball or whatever, you may start to become aroused by the concept of baseball in the future, and then you take your kids and their friends to a game and you have to hide an erection the entire time. It just becomes a huge issue. And even more so, Garrett, in the pre-internet world, this could be easily avoided by thinking about something you would never come across in real life that was decidedly unsexy. Let's say, for example, some sort of gross Cthulhu-esque tentacle monster. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, Garrett, with the internet and the subsequent Rule 34, and again,
someone's jaying off to that tentacle monster.
Absolutely. But the problem is, there's nothing you can imagine in this situation that you can't eventually come across, and that's just going to lead you down a horrible rabbit hole of increasingly terrifying masturbatory imagery when you should have just tried to be honest in the first place and tried to be in the moment with your respective partner, Johnny.
So we should also, huge caveat here, that whole thing begins with, this could happen.
It could happen. It's not necessary. It's not definitely going to happen. You're not definitely going to start becoming aroused by Spider-Man just because you're thinking about Spider-Man to delay your eventual orgasm.
Right.
But you could. And that's the risk.
Could. Well, that's the thing. I think you're saying it a little weird. Maybe I want to make sure we're not saying different things here. It's not that you end up necessarily becoming aroused by Spider-Man. It's that you find yourself getting aroused just when reminded of that thing you use to not become aroused. So you become associative of sex and Spider-Man. You're not necessarily now aroused by Spider-Man. It's that you're aroused by the presence of Spider-Man.
Yes. Or you are aroused by Spider-Man. Either one can be true. The problem is...
Yeah, I think we are saying different things.
No. It doesn't matter which one we're saying because it has the same effect.
Well... A lot of things have the same effect, but I feel like you're saying the ends justify the means in some sort of Spider-Man fantasy.
Yeah.
Stop saying yeah. Anyway, we pretty much agree. I get the impression, because there ain't nobody home implies that these are, that's going to sound really gross, let's say seniors in high school or maybe freshmen in college home for the holidays.
Right, yeah.
Like they're in their parents' home, but because I just can't do this episode if we don't say they're a legal age, we'll make them seniors in high school. And Tim, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I think this is slightly indicative of an age thing. Like when you first start banging, you're like, oh yeah, we could do it like in the tub or the shower, or like the kitchen counter. Like this is a thing a stupid, naive young person does where they're like, oh, you know what's really comfortable? A bed. You know what isn't? Everything else. Don't do that.
And here's the thing. You can get the same effect, that same adventurous effect in your own bed. You just have to introduce weird stuff and drugs.
Great advice.
After
Song
dark.
continues, I guess. Oh, we cut off at a great point. Song continues. Swinging in the living room, swinging in the kitchen. Most folks don't because they're too busy bitching. Okay. Swinging in there because she wanted me to feed her, so I mixed up the batter and she licked the beater. Tim, I think we might have at least, if not a double, a 1.5 entendre.
Gross.
He's talking about fellatio.
Yes. It's not a great metaphor. It makes me think that he's got some sort of small rotary device with a set of interlocking blades that...
They're not blades.
Well, they can be.
His penis is the beater, his semen is the batter, and I suppose in there is her mouth.
Right. It's kind of hot, right?
Sure. I guess in there is probably the kitchen. We're swinging in the kitchen, swinging in there because she wanted me to feed her, so I mixed up the batter and she licked the beater.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, not her mouth.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for her. Don't even try because you can't ignore her. It's clever. It's hearkening back to 70 years prior with the I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Yeah, I appreciate their clever rhyming of her with her.
Well, sure. It's how you know it's a good song, Garrett.
Chorus again. This time we add a little bit more. He continues with, she's my cherry pie, put a smile on your face, 10 miles wide. That's important, folks.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
File it away. 10-mile wide smiles. Looking so good, bring a tear to your eye. Sweet cherry pie. Hard to dislike the song, Tim. They stay on point. It's not too terribly long. It's very anthemic, and it's got some good riffs.
Sure. Yeah, that's why I don't hate it.
Swinging to the drums, swinging to the guitar, swinging to the bass in the back of my car. Ain't got money, ain't got no gas, but we'll get where we're going if we swing real fast. fast.
Yeah, they're going to get there.
Yeah, now I picture maybe they're so, they don't have a lot of money. Maybe the only tape deck they have is in the car, so they go out there to listen to music and bang.
Sure.
It's a relatable thing there. We got a pre-chorus, then the chorus, then the bridge.
Yeah, it doesn't really get sinister in the bridge. It gets, they double down on the old baseball thing.
I was going to say it gets confusing to me.
Yeah.
He shouts, swing it! All night long. Swing it again. I'm a trained professional.
Which he's not.
Professional
banger.
Baseball player?
He's talking about being some sort of male prostitute.
He's a coxman, Tim.
Yes, but professional. I mean, that implies there's money changing hands.
I was going to say, you can't call yourself a professional unless somebody pays you.
Right, yeah.
So he's a gigolo.
Yes.
All right.
Swinging in the bathroom, swinging on the floor, swinging so hard, forgot to lock the door. In Walker Daddy, standing 6'4", he said, "You ain't gonna swing with my daughter no more." And here's where I do have a problem with the song, Garrett,
Yeah.
because again, the whole thing, it's about banging this girl, all over the house, the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom, etc. Shaggy would approve.
Yeah, I think he may owe them some money.
Yes, this is decidedly though not her house. This is her parents' house, and notably, this is 1990. It's a year that millennials just didn't live at home constantly, which makes me worry. And again, I think that you've got sort of the best case scenario here. It's seniors in high school or a freshman year in college kind of situation. But again,
he refers to himself as a grown man.
Yes, he is very insistent that he is an adult. Not
and that
so
she's
insistent.
A sweet, innocent cherry pie.
Right, yes. He's not so insistent that she is an adult. And, again, you could assume that they're into daddy play. It's not her actual father. Again, Shaggy would also approve of that. And, the obviously the two high school situation. But again, he is a 26-year-old rock star at this point and a grown-ass man.
Sure. Don't ask, don't tell, I think, in this one, Tim.
Okay.
Well, who are we going to ask? Because they're not telling.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
I made myself sad.
Then we get the chorus again and an outro where he simply says, swing it! And we're done. That brings us to the music video. Boy, howdy.
It's weird because it's one of these videos where they just sort of like act out the things they're saying in the song poorly. It's a band playing in front of a mostly white background, just kind of dancing around like only men in the late 80s, early 90s could. By that, I mean, they've got the long hair. They spent 4 to 8 times more time getting ready each day than they did writing the song. They've got blouses. They've got black leather. There's ripped clothing. You will see every one of their nipples, despite every one of them being nominally clothed from the waist up.
Yeah, this is all accurate.
Yes.
Can I take us on the fly through?
Sure.
All right, you stop me at any moment to elucidate, to add detail. As you said, Tim, we open on a big white soundstage, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, possibly existing outside of space and time. There are giant red polka dots on the floor, and you're not sure if you're watching like a Teletubbies thing at first. It seems like a children's set.
Yes.
But then, here comes Warrant. The band is pretending to play. They do not look cool at all.
No. Do you think they looked cool in 1990?
I don't think so.
What if this had been made in 87?
They're regionally cool.
Okay, so like Milwaukee, these guys are the toast of the town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, they'd rule Milwaukee, Tim.
Yeah.
Men would want to be them, women would want to be with them.
Yes.
Yes. So then we meet Bobby Brown. And no, not Whitney Houston's ex-husband, a blonde supermodel at the time, very attractive young lady. She is dancing in cutoffs and a red halter top. She doesn't look like she was given a lot of direction, aside from like, dance. You're having a good time, Bobby.
Yeah.
No, a good time. Quit frowning.
It was a be sexy go.
Yes. Yeah, be sexy. Sexier.
Yeah, really make it ridiculous.
Then, quick change of clothes, and Bobby's back. She rolls up on skates dressed as a sexy car hop delivering a slice of cherry pie.
Yes.
Janny Lane opens his coat, revealing what I think is supposed to be the outline of his dick or possibly an erection, and the car hop is so shocked she drops her pie.
It's clear she does not know how to roller skate, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And that's fine. She probably lied on her resume, but that's okay.
It is never okay to lie on your resume.
No, if you're a supermodel or actor, lie away.
No. Garrett, that is sacred. What's on a resume, I can't even...
Listen, if you're a doctor, don't lie on your resume. If you're a supermodel and you want to say that you have equestrian skills, go nuts.
What if you're a doctor and you want to say you have equestrian skills? What if you're a supermodel and you want to say you have doctor skills?
Don't do that.
Which one?
The horse one. Anyway, continuing on. What's strange, Tim, I don't know if you noticed this bizarre continuity error. The sexy car hop, who is so shocked by Jani Lane's penis that she drops the pie she's holding, is then dropped into the very same woman's lap who is now wearing a black cocktail dress.
Yes, I did not see that as a lack of continuity.
Did you catch the very subtle imagery of the pie? I don't know if you caught this.
Is this where it covers her bathing suit area?
Vagina.
Yeah, no, I did not.
No, it completely missed it. Yeah, it drops so comically in the position that would signify a vagina with a piece of pie that it is embarrassing even to watch today. But that aside, we then come back to the band playing in the white that exists solely for this 1990 music video.
I like to think that you've seen the new It movie, right?
Yes.
You familiar with Deadlights?
Oh, yeah.
I like to think that this is what's playing in those deadlights. Like, you stare into that clown's eyes and it's just all Warrant all the time.
I'm okay with that. I always thought it'd be something much worse.
He's going to steal your soul and take you to this music video set, and that's where you live forever. It's not great.
It's not great. The music video continues. When we return back to the band, they are pretending to play again, and of course, it's a 1980s music video, or I guess it isn't. It's a 1990 music video posing as an 80s music video, so of course they find something to jump off of repeatedly.
Sure.
Now, Tim, at this point, we haven't mentioned it. Did you notice that all of their instruments are black and red, including the drum kit?
Yes.
Like red cymbals.
Yeah, I think this
red.
is where Jack White actually got his motif from.
It is funny because I started judging it and then I was like, like you're super into a band that does exactly this, you stupid asshole.
Yeah. And I mean, like having food is like on the drums, ridiculous.
Yeah. So they sing about baseball. Then they show Bobby in a giant glove wearing a baseball uniform bodysuit.
Yeah. Who knew I found that hot?
Yeah, but I do. And Tim, there you go right there. You're going to start getting boners at baseball games again.
I always did. That's a different thing, though.
Cut back to the band and they put
it's about the stadium seating, you see.
It's an altitude thing?
Sure.
It's a vertigo thing?
Yeah, I do like to be high up in the stadium. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It matters a lot, but not for the show. So anyway, maybe the most confusing part of the music video is when we cut to the drummer who they've placed cherry pies onto the drums and he's just smashing them and ruining both the pies and the drums.
Yeah.
Also, Tim, how do you feel about whipped cream on a pie?
Whipped cream should be sprayed directly into one's mouth. Also, I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you turn that nozzle and just push it just ever so slightly to the side, so no whipped cream comes out, but you do get a little bit of that gas stuff.
There it is.
Inhale that.
Wasn't sure if you were talking about whippets, but now I'm very sure.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Bobby wiggles around on a couch, Jace, that's shaped like a giant pair of lips, because that was the style at the time.
It was.
Then things do get a touch demeaning. Bobby cruises past the boys, who are now inexplicably sitting on a fire truck wearing children's helmets, and they all check her out as she goes by. And just after she passes, just as they sing "Cool Drink of Water," they turn the fire hose on her like a Mobile cop in the 60s.
Yeah, they spray her with their dick hoses.
Yeah, but also a real hose, and it looks painful.
Yeah, well, it's not fun.
To her credit, she does pretend like taking a high-pressure stream of water to the face isn't demeaning and painful. She's like, oh, this is great. But it isn't great. No. She probably had bruises. Then she eats a cherry, and Lanny has a giant set of upper teeth out of nowhere that I will never get out of my head.
Garrett, when they say 10-mile-wide smile, this is so unnerving. This special effect looks like something that would have been in that 1990 It adaptation. It's unsettling, and I don't like it. They do it a second time. If you don't know what we're talking about, feel free to go to our Instagram. It's on the feed there behind the album artwork. But they do it a second time, and for some reason I assumed that they wouldn't have the budget to do it twice. And the second time, Jesus Christ, he looks behind him. There, he's walking like arm in arm with Miss Brown and turns around and gives that smile. Oh my God.
I'm not sure if he reminds me of Tom Petty or just Tom Petty dressed as the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, it's that, but like played with the manic energy of a in love Tom Cruise.
Yes. We're in love.
Yes.
Okay. You're glib. You're insane.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the music video. After she takes that painful dick stream to the face. Oh, right. Next, they're banging in the back seat as instruments fly out of what I believe to be a 1950s Chrysler. They dance about some more, and so does Bobby. They act out the dad catching them in the bed together, but instead of a person, it's a giant face on a green screen, which makes no sense. Like, they open the door to the bedroom, and he's like, get out of here, and it's just a big screen.
Yeah. I wish the one thing they should have shown that they didn't was a tongue getting mangled by an egg beater.
No, he doesn't have an egg beater dick, you psycho.
I understand. He doesn't have a dick hose or any of this other stuff. These are metaphors, Garrett, but they act them out in the music video, and if you're gonna do it, do it. Commit to the bit. Mangle Bobby Brown's face with an egg beater.
Last third of the music video is the greatest hits of everything we've already seen. The car drives through the picture of a pie. The car hop comes back, and she almost falls on those skates again. There's more pies on drums, and it ends with Lanny about to be hit with a pie in the face, but they freeze just before it hits him.
Yeah. The music video is pretty arousing, of course, except for that clown mouth part.
Right. Minus the clown mouth, the Tom Petty mouth, possibly the Mad Hatter mouth, what I will call my nightmare mouth. It's not my mouth.
Right.
It's
a mouth that you would have nightmares about.
It's a mouth that is now in my nightmares.
Sure.
But it's not my mouth in the nightmares.
Right. Carrying on.
Right. That takes us through the music video. How did this thing do?
Pretty good. It hit number 10 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Not the best they would do. They had a number 2 hit in 89 and another number 10 hit in 91. But they only had basically 2 more years of songs, really 1 more year of songs after this that would even make it to the charts. So this was pretty good. The album Cherry Pie sold at least 2 million copies in the US alone, and it hit number 7 on the Billboard 200. So this was listened to by people.
All right. Okay, that's how it did, but what did people think of it?
Well, this is kind of a mixed bag. There's 120 total ratings on Amazon, 4.6 out of 5 stars on average, 77% 5-star, 3% 1-star, but the really good stuff here is in the YouTube comments. I'd be happy to just skip to those right away if you'd like.
I feel like these are going to be after dark. Go for it.
Oh, they're not. They're all very, very mild, actually. The first one is by Maggie Sullivan from 3 months ago. I am happy to subscribe to your channel. I was honored to meet all of you at a venue in Houston in 2019. The Rooftop? ? When I met Stephen Sweet, his powerful hand nearly crushed my fingers. Drummer! How is he? He and his family are always in my prayers, but I know he will be all right. Nothing could defeat the spirit I saw through those blue eyes. Much love to all of you.
What in the fuck is that about?
I don't know.
I met Warrant. I'm bragging about meeting Warrant. By the way, not Warrant. And she's praying for one of them and his family.
Yes, the drummer.
Now, Tim, I don't pray, but if I did, and
you
let's
should
pretend for a moment.
Sorry, carry on.
It's been a minute since I've slapped you. Let's pretend I did, and let's pretend it worked.
Sure, and it does.
Oh. It doesn't. But of all the people you'd pray for, you'd think, all right, well, family, obviously. If it worked, you'd start with them. Then maybe close friends. Then maybe even not so close friends. Then maybe if you got time, somebody at work that's fallen on tough times. Maybe they got a sick parent. You pray for them. But would you ever have so few other people in your life that you cared about / cared about you that you'd make your way to a third-rate replacement in the 2019 version of Warrant?
Would I? No. Do I respect it? Yes.
I have no response to that.
Fair enough. Let's hear from Cheesehead is Cool from 5 years ago. My mom is 38, and this song just came on the radio, and she told me that in this music video, the model that is dancing around was her babysitter when she was young.
She's a liar.
Yeah, I don't know if those ages match up, but okay, whatever. After watching this video, I'm going to go to my grandfather and give him a big high five because he knows how to pick the good babysitters.
I hired her because I wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, that's going to result in a terrible conversation.
Worst Thanksgiving ever.
Or best, it depends. Do you ever want to go back there? Are you looking for an excuse to get out?
Boy, you love throwing a grenade into family events.
I do.
Especially mine.
Yeah, well, I like the awkward and I don't necessarily need it in my life. Anyway, Josh Walder from 1 year ago said, watching this on 9/11/20, 30 years after its release, still a great song.
I'm happy to hear it wasn't 11 years after its release. I really thought it was going to be a 9/11 thing with you this week.
No.
Really impressed with you.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. Meth 7 months ago said, "This song always reminds me of my college girlfriend. Rose, if you're reading this, you were always and will always be one of a kind. Fuck me.
Boy.
Fuck me."
Great reviews, Tim. That's how it did. That's what people thought of it. I'm curious, who is this song for, in your opinion?
I think it's for quite literally Don Einer and also gross grandpas who want to bang babysitters.
Gross. Yeah, I'd say it's for people in 1990 that weren't ready to say goodbye to the 80s. And anybody alive today, it's for sad people.
Yes. It's for people of a very, very specific age group that were either 12 or 19. One of those two ages. Nothing in between when this came out.
Yeah, well put. All right, final thoughts. Anything we didn't say about this that we ought to?
Nah.
No, it's kind of a nothing song. It was a fun little retreat from the usual slog that we have to deal with. I can certainly say it was not nearly the ear beating that I have come to associate with this show.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd like to hear more from Jenny Lane's parents. They're funny people.
They're not. And they're dead. Almost certainly.
I don't know.
If not, I definitely want to hear from them.
Yes. Write in. Are you Johnny Lane's parents? Explain yourself.
Explain yourself. Okay, Tim, we've been all the way through it, talked about it at length, so I'm going to ask it, do you hate this song?
Nah, it's fine. I mean, it's of a very specific time, and I think it's kind of embarrassing, but I mean, whatever, it's fine. What about you? Do you hate this song? Did you get there?
No, we didn't. Nobody presented nearly enough evidence to get there. It's a little gross.
Oh, sure.
We didn't get nearly as after dark as I expected.
I don't think you remember what we said.
I don't remember everything, but I don't remember having to... You didn't scream after dark at me more than once.
No, I just let it go because we played that song up top.
Maybe. Or we forgot to.
Either.
Okay, I will say this, Tim. It's a little long. It could be shorter.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine.
They could have gotten rid of that smile from the music video. Or the music video could have been just that. Like, he could have had that fucking smile the entire time, like sung through those teeth.
Oh, God. All right. That brings us to listener mail. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
I'd like to go first. I have an email from someone named Harley.
Yeah.
Harley writes, "Hello, Gary and Tim Antwoord. I've been listening to you two, or one, still not sure, for 5 months now. Sometimes I listen to you guys 8 hours a day at my lonely janitorial job. I came across your potty through Spotify. The first episode I listened to was Pink's Misunderstood, which is an album I do like. You guys proceeded to talk the shit. Long story short, you nerds grew on me, and now I listen to the new stuff every week, and I'm working through your extensive catalog. I feel like if you're listening 8 hours a day, that shouldn't be that hard. Anyway,
no.
I'd like to answer all the listener questions, but that's not going to happen. I'm a woman, 21. I cannot contribute to your daddy research as I do not participate in the daddy culture. I have an actual question for you guys, though. What equipment do you use to record, i.e. mics and software? I have an interest in starting a Why I Hate This Album lore deep dive podcast because, Christ, we need a flowchart to keep up. I mean, I can't remember if that hole from Tim Miley Cyrusing was ever fixed. Very concerned with this winter weather coming into Texas. Anyway,
we moved.
Yes.
There.
I mean, I do not know if that hole was ever fixed because we do not live there anymore. However, the new hole in the new apartment has not been fixed. We put up some tarps and I bought Garrett a sweater.
Yeah, it's a very warm sweater.
Yes. Anyways,
It's got King Kong fighting a Godzilla on it.
Yes, I got it for free at a movie premiere. Anyways, I find your impressions hilarious, Garrett. I find your sex cult, your cowboy sex cult worrisome, Tim. Sorry for the long email. Keep the laughs coming, guys. All the best. P.S. Hashtag Tim Antwoord is a super soul sucker. PPS, Batman sounds like the best boy. Now, I can confirm, not a soul sucker. Batman is a very, very good boy, but he is not the best boy. That would be Yogi.
He's the best.
No, he's Nope. Again, we've answered the Miley Cyrus whole question. Jesus Christ, that sounds bad.
And we can send you a full rundown of the various software and hardware we use. That's not terribly interesting right now.
Yes, but there are plenty of people that would like to contribute, I think, to that podcast. And in all honesty, I'd love to listen to it because Garrett has a habit of propofalling me relentlessly.
No, come on.
What?
A habit? It happened like twice.
Okay, it's not a habit. It is I'm not saying like you've done it more than twice. The point is...
You fall asleep in inappropriate times and places and suddenly I'm propofalling you every time. I did it twice. I allegedly did it twice. One time our producer did it. I was with you. I'd have to propofol myself. I'm not some sort of genius mastermind.
That's true. Although I believe that you and Tom Brady may work to propofol me in some sort of Inception-like scenario.
Oh, we're going to saw you. We're going to put you in a series of physical tests. And you're going to have to...
Garrett, I did that to some goons on your behalf, and I will not allow you to take me back to that old lab. I'm not that interested in spook houses. And it's not even Halloween. Anyway, the point is, Garrett, do you also have a listener mail?
I do. This email is a review.
Oh, no, right?
Sort of. It's actually an email. So it's an email that begins, it's from Andy. Thank you, Andy. It begins, for some reason, Apple Podcast is not posting my review. So here it is. So Andy was trying to submit a review. Thank you very much. 5 stars. Appreciate it, Andy. But for some reason, that company is not posting this review. So they sent us an email to let us know, here's what I am trying to submit. See if anything stands out. The title of the review, Podcast-Induced Spirituality. Tim and Garrett are incredibly funny and thoroughly entertaining. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Additionally, although a staunch atheist for decades, through gentle nudges, G and T have triggered in me a full embrace of all major religions.
Ooh, there's going to be some conflicts there.
For my Islamic faith, 5 times a day I throw down a mat, face Mecca, and praise Allah. While watching TV, I simultaneously meditate with Buddha and chant to Shiva. And as a devout and loving Christian, I sporadically pick off people exiting the local abortion clinic with a deer rifle. Love you guys.
Interesting. Now,
I do think I know why it has not appeared on the iTunes reviews.
Fun story. January 6th, 2022, 5 stars by Waking Blobfish is exactly that review. It did post.
Good job, Andy. You got it through.
Cool. Well, you sort of failed, I guess.
I mean,
Hard to say. Hard to say.
It's called a push. Alrighty. That brings us to music news of the weird. Tim, you want to go first? Or you want me to?
Oh, Garrett, I think I've definitely earned the right to go first this week.
Music news of the weird.
In this might be fake news and probably is fake news and just a publicity stunt news, Machine Gun Kelly and Travis Barker, drummer extraordinaire for Blink-182, have been collaborating recently on some albums, starting with Tickets to My Downfall in 2020. The two had planned to release an album called Born with Horns this year, or I guess 2022, and to celebrate, the two each got that phrase tattooed on their arms.
Yep.
Did you see this?
I did.
Hear about this? All right. And then Mr.
Hear about this?
And then Mr. Gun Kelly changed the name of the album to Mainstream Sellout. So,
I didn't hear about that.
Tattoos of nothing.
What a dickhead.
The video, again, it might be fake news. This might be just a bit the two of them are playing. But if not, it's a pretty funny joke that Guard has played on me at more than once.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's the joke?
Tricking me into getting tattoos that then mean nothing.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So I don't know.
That's a dickhead move.
Funny though. He's real creepy though, and his relationship with Miss Transformers is
weird.
Troubling.
Right? And she's significantly older than him, I think.
I don't know. He looks like a skinny and more tattooed version of that guy that fought Mayweather.
Conor McGregor?
No, the YouTube guy.
Oh, Jake Paul.
Yes.
Logan Paul? Jake Paul.
I don't know. One of them. Whichever one fought that guy and definitely got knocked out and then was then held up by him. Allegedly, I guess.
Oh, right. That.
Anyway, Garrett, do you have any YouTube or Machine Gun Kelly related news for us? Any news at all about Logan Paul?
No. Again, no. What I do have, Tim, is the latest update in what this podcast has been calling Kanye Watch.
Oh, God.
Tim Kanye West, legally known now as Ye, shared a series of now since deleted Instagram posts over last weekend in which he claimed his estranged wife, Kim Kardashian, accused him of putting a hit out on her. Quote, in all caps, quote, so let me get this straight. I beg to go to my daughter's party and I'm accused of being on drugs. Then I go play with my son and I take my Akira graphic novels and I'm accused of stealing. Now I'm being accused of putting a hit on her. End quote.
Do you think he was accused of any of that?
Probably of taking the Akira novels.
Oh.
And probably not accused. Probably more like, hey, Kanye, did you take those comic books? Your son was looking for them.
Yes.
I'm a thief now? Nope. Just asking. That wasn't all, though, Tim. He also posted, quote, in all caps, these ideas can actually get someone locked up. They play like that with black men's lives. Whether, spelled like meteorological weather, it's getting them free or getting them locked up, and I'm not playing about my black children children anymore, end quote. This podcast, as it has many times before and will again this week, hopes that Kanye West gets the help he needs soon and that this does not end with anybody physically getting harmed.
Absolutely.
But that dude should not. He needs to be Britney Spears. Where's Jamie Spears?
Ooh, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, get those two together, have that dude, lock down Kanye, take advantage, wildly spend all of his fortune. I mean, the dude's got probably 10 times as much as Britney does. And, have him, it'll be a month before Kanye's twirling in front of his camera on Instagram every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's smart.
It'd be less dangerous than what's happening now.
Absolutely. Solve one problem with another problem. Done.
And we'll get the toads to eat the bugs, and then we'll get the foxes to eat the toads, and the wolves to eat the foxes, and the bears to eat the wolves.
What do we do about the bears?
Helicopters.
What do we
Bear
do about
patrol.
the helicopters?
They'll take care of themselves, Tim. Helicopters let you know when they're done working by careening into the ground unexpectedly.
Accurate.
Oh, physics says don't do it. Tim, what other news have you got that might be considered music news of the weird?
In not weird at all news, Garrett, Diane Warren has been nominated for yet another Oscar. This will be her 13th nomination, so she has 12 losses and 1 pending. This current one is for a movie called 4 Good Days, in which she wrote Somehow You Do, and hopefully 13th time is a charm. You might also remember her from such movie songs as How Do I Live from Con Air, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon, There You'll Be from Pearl Harbor, no one remembers that one, collaborating with Common for Stand Up for Something in Marshall, it's in 2018. Yeah, point being, we are, as always, rooting for Miss Diane Warren, and Diane, if you're listening, and I know that you are, if you don't win, don't worry, I'll be there to pick up the pieces.
She has been very clear that she does not want you touching her pieces.
Sure, but maybe one of my other personas.
Yeah.
Maybe
throw on a fake chin and a fake nose and get you working at a gas station for a couple of weeks. Maybe she'll go for that guy.
Yeah, she does like commoners. She calls them tradies. Familiar with this?
God.
Yeah. Allegedly, of course, but I don't think in a derogatory way. I think it's in a in a kind of a cutesy. She likes tradies.
She calls them eaters.
No. She's a very sweet lady, Garrett. Anyway,
she is.
What?
Now, Tim, if I remember correctly, didn't last year's loss make her the losingest Oscar nominee of all time?
I believe so. But she could turn it all around this year, Garrett. She could be 1 for 13.
Or, with every loss, she becomes even harder to defeat as the winningest loser.
Cool. It's also interesting because her first nomination was in 1988, Garrett. She has been a loser for 34 years.
Oh, trust me, Tim, you can be a loser for a lot longer than that.
Yes, at least 39.
There-ish, yeah. Just look at Eric Clapton.
Oh, Jesus. Garrett, what other news about people you plan on seducing do you have for us today?
This has nothing to do with seduction, Tim. This one's maybe a cautionary tale. The rapper Draco the Ruler. I'm assuming you're not familiar with the rapper Draco the Ruler.
Absolutely not.
Well, a lawsuit was filed on his son's behalf for a wrongful death in Los Angeles Wednesday, asking for at least $60 million in damages from defendants, among which was concert promoter Live Nation. According to the complaint, the promoters, quote, were completely knowledgeable of the potential dangers at their Once Upon a Time in LA festival last December and allowed the show to go on despite an utter lack of security in the backstage area where Draco, born Daryl Caldwell, was fatally stabbed. This happened last year at a concert, man. So, what I found even more fascinating about the fact that a guy performing at a music venue was stabbed to death is the fact that, okay, so I read some of the lawsuit and there was apparently an ongoing feud with another dude at the festival, YG. I'm sure you've heard of YG.
Also no.
Apparently he was feuding with YG and they were like, you knew at the very least those two were fighting, you should have had more security. And they say, quote, while there is no evidence to indicate that YG had anything to do with the events that could lead to Mr. Caldwell's murder on the evening of December 18th, 2021, it was clear that other members of the Bloods gang may take issue with him, end quote. Oh, sorry, one more sentence you'll understand why I brought this up. Quote, it was widely known that members of the Bloods gang were actively targeting Mr. Caldwell, End
Oh.
quote. Yeah. So, Tim, I'm a little concerned. I want to make sure that any sets out there listening that might in any way have misconstrued something myself or Tim said, especially me, but I guess Tim as well, that could have been taken as derogatory or demeaning or even belittling to your gang lifestyle. We did not mean it.
Yes, we are in full support.
Please do not stab us to death at a live event.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Don't come to our home and stab us either. We do not have any sort of defense here. I don't know why I'm telling you this.
We do. I mean, well, we didn't move the turrets, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have technically a wave of interns that would throw themselves at any sort of assailant before they ever got to us.
absolutely. They'd probably be stabbed out and tired by that point.
You know what, man? My shoulder's killing me. Although, I mean, 43 people is a lot of people to stab.
Yeah.
We could probably casually walk down the hall while they're getting through 43 people.
Oh, sure. They'd probably pile up, too. They'd have to climb over them, form some sort of
You better
barrier.
be good at stabbing.
Absolutely.
I mean, an amateur can stab one guy, but 43 people?
Yeah, I mean, all at once. It's yeah.
Blade's gonna get slick. You're gonna cut yourself. Woof. Anyway, Tim, what other news about stabbings do you have?
Well, Garrett, in the best Avenger news, Jerry Renner, the Ren Dog himself, is
God damn it.
going to have a home renovation show. Do you know what that show is going to be called?
Well, I don't know what it's going to be called, but I'm not convinced it's a home renovation show.
Oh, explain.
What's it going to be called?
It's going to be called Renovations.
Sure. So my
good
first
name.
thought is it's a great name. If you're not going to go for the completely obvious scarves and dusters featuring Jeremy Renner, I think Renovations is great. But Tim, much like you, I assumed, given that he has a very successful business renovating renovating homes, obviously that's what the show would be about. But I read the press release and I think it's some sort of pimp my ride for third world countries. I don't know if you have any of the copy in front of you.
I don't, but I knew it's going to be like a charity show.
I do not think you read the fine print.
Apparently not. I stopped at Renovations. I mean, Garrett, I will watch Hawkeye renovate.
I can't look at it for some reason. My stupid Bluetooth keyboard has disconnected from my computer, so I can't type it in. But it said something like purpose-built, unique vehicles.
I mean, I think you would be good at building vehicles too.
I do
kind
not.
of an all-around guy. I mean, granted, those scarves will get caught in some gears. They will pull your neck
What
right
do you think
into
the
it.
odds are that he performs the theme song?
Oh, I hope so. I hope he dresses like Hawkeye the whole time. Obviously with a scarf and a duster. But, I mean, I assume he's going to be carrying like a bow and arrow around at all times. I would.
He will not be.
He should.
How would they squeeze that into a reality show where he builds possibly homes or cars? We're still not sure.
So he's not actually using it. It's just strung to his back and they never explain it.
I don't. Again, but you know he's not Hawkeye.
No, I know that, but does he? Because if I remember correctly, most of the songs on his album were about possibly being Hawkeye.
Okay, I have found the press release. It says, an original 4-part series that embraces Jeremy's lifelong passion for giving back to communities around the world by reimagining unique purpose-built vehicles. Purpose-built vehicles to meet a community's needs.
I get that.
Is he building Mad Max cars? What does that mean?
I assume it's like refrigerator trucks and sure, like, I mean, I'm sure there's like a flaming guitar at some point. Why wouldn't you?
It'd be incredible if the very first episode, 4 minutes in, Exhibit comes in and brains Jeremy Renner and just takes over the show. Hi, welcome to Renovations. I'm Exhibit.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner's unconscious and will be for a while.
I mean, I'm into that as well. Garrett, what other Avengers news do you have?
I, of course, have no more Avengers news. However, I do have more music news. How weird is that, though?
It's delightful.
Purpose-built vehicles? My next story, Tim, is about Lil Uzi Vert. You remember him? He's the asshole that has the $24 million diamond in his head.
Well, did.
Sure, got ripped out. That was one of the highlights of 2021 for me. Now, what you may not remember is that last July, Lil Uzi Vert's ex-girlfriend, Brittany Bird, alleged that Uzi had assaulted her and threatened her with a firearm. Prosecutors then charged him with 3 felonies: assault with a firearm, criminal threats, and domestic violence, as well as 1 misdemeanor charge of carrying a loaded firearm.
Smart.
Cut to now, where Lil Uzi Vert has pleaded no contest to 1 count of felony assault with a firearm and 1 count of misdemeanor injury to his girlfriend, according to TMZ. Now, Uzi was sentenced to 3 years of formal probation probation, 1 year of treatment for mental health and substance abuse, and 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling. He must also pay restitution and comply with a 10-year criminal protective order. I think he put a gun in his girlfriend's stomach and threatened to shoot her.
Yes, that is.
You should go to jail for that, right?
You probably should, yeah. Unless maybe you've got if
it's like a John McClane situation and you're like, I need you to stop talking, there's a bomb on my back. Like, maybe then.
Yeah. I mean, if it's Diamond related, Head Diamond, maybe that Diamond started talking to him and started telling him to do like bad things.
I need you to kill the girl, Eddie.
Yeah, you get it.
Sorry. I need you to kill the girl, Uzi.
Yes.
What if it was super cartoony but still evil? Hey, Uzi.
I don't know. I honestly think
she has designs on separating us. You have to remove her head.
Fair.
You know, she can't take me away if you take her hands. Oh my God. Goodness.
It is true, though.
And then he'd have to go to 13 weeks of rage counseling. No jail time, though.
Well, no. He's got a diamond in his forehead that tells him what to do.
That judge seems like a real stinker. Tim, what other murderous news inflicted by an anthropomorphic diamond do you have?
Let's see. There's going to be a National Treasure Disney Plus show starring Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Hashtag not my national treasure.
Billy Joe Armstrong's car was stolen. George Crumb died. Zach Braff is remaking Cheaper by the Dozen. I think I'm done. I think I've got everything that needs to be said.
Zach Braff is remaking Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yes, one of those, I think that's your fourth favorite Steve Martin vehicle?
I think fifth.
Fifth, okay.
I think that's going to do us for this week, Tim. That brings us to a very exciting part of the show, arguably the best part by many measures. What album are we going to be listening to for an entire week straight before we come back here and tell folks why we do or do not hate it?
Well, after putting it off for a full 2 weeks due to a last-minute change, we have gotten back on course, and we will be listening to and discussing Coldplay's, I believe, Parachutes. It's the one with yellow on it, whichever one that is.
Boy, we both meant to look it up and didn't.
No.
Gino, push-ups. That's a producer thing if I've ever thought of one.
Yeah.
All right. Any predictions here, Tim? Are you at all familiar with this album?
I remember yellow. I assume it's going to be soft rock and great.
I know at least 2 songs, possibly all of them.
I think I'll probably know most of them, yeah.
And I am worried. I am real worried I'm going to like it and it's going to be indefensible and I'm just going to be here saying, yeah, but it's good, right? And it won't be.
It won't be. I can guarantee
we'll see.
that.
There's also a good chance that this is the week that we truly decide that, well, I got to tell you, beyond this album, I got no use for Coldplay.
That's fair. This might be the week we just burn the show down.
Fair enough. As always, folks, if you can, the first most important thing you could do is go on out to that Apple Podcast app, give us the 5 stars, and if that's all you got time for, you're done. If you want to be cute, clever, or amusing, we appreciate it. Throw some words in there. Get weird with it. Ask us questions. You wouldn't believe the reviews we've got out there. But if you don't have time, the 5 stars is great, and it does us a real solid. If you've already done that, then hey, we want to hear from you. You can reach out to us by emailing us at hatepodmail@gmail.com, or you can go to hatepod.com, and there's a contact us in the upper left-hand corner. It asks for an email, but that's just so we can reply. We have no sponsors, so we're not going to market anything at you. We can't seem to get our act together on the merch side of things, so there's nothing for us to sell you. We simply want to reply to the email you sent us, and we want to hear from you. Tell us your thoughts, your dreams, your ideas, weird stories related to these albums. What were odd things going on in your life the last time you heard Warrant's Cherry Pie? We want to hear about it and share it with strangers. If you only want to share it with us, then just say, hey, please don't read this on the air. If you want to make goddamn sure the world knows about it, but maybe you want to use an alias, we can arrange that too. Just put it in the email and we will oblige. The most important part is you got to write in. You can also reach out to us on Instagram. That's HatePod. We're on Twitter. That's Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter if you want to talk to me. And Tim's, well, he's not anywhere. Don't worry about it. You can also find us on our subreddits. We've also got the old Discord server. And that's about it. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy Richardson, and on February 1st, 2014, Garrett P. Harvey said, "Don't worry, patrons, that's only my shadow, and I don't think you'll turn against me, will you, William?"
Do you know where we were?
I mean, I assume at your bar. You're referring to them as patrons.
I want to say we were at a movie theater.
Oh, possibly.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I said that.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
I strangled them all, of course.